Yo, what's going on guys? Jared here, back again with another video, and today we are going to be talking about Horus. Now, Horus is a deck that you would actually think not really is a pure version, but is usually an engine. But in this is going to be a pure Horus stun deck that is kind of specialized in just watching your opponent play in a kind of way. I know it sounds kind of weird, but when you actually have King Sark and the 4 to 3 Horus monsters on the field, and that's not including things like Black Goat Laughs, Vanity's Ruler, things of that nature, it's actually pretty difficult for a lot of these decks to deal with. If you really think about it, most of the decks involve single interruption or single like removal. Not many things have full explosive destruction that can hit multiple things at the same time, which is usually how you deal with Horus. So in this regard, Horus is actually pretty annoying to deal with between the draws with Wemetef, the add back off Happy, send away with Mseti, and then the mass protection from like Quebec, whatever it's called. But the main thing is that Malice and Raziel both struggle from this problem. And also the thing that would be the issue would be Exciton Knight, but if you use your other slots in your engine to help prevent that card from being a problem, it really isn't that bad at all. Like between things like Black Goat Laughs and Metaltronus, you can actually just beat the card outright and then watch your opponent struggle, because once you have your board set up, it's pretty difficult to deal with. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the actual profile itself. And if you enjoy, please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, guys, so here is the deck profile. Very quickly, we'll just run through this. We have 2 copies of Dwemetef, 3 copies of Happy, 3 Mseti, 1 copy of Quebec. And then we got 3 copies of Vanity's Ruler. That's it for the monsters. I really don't think we need any more. 3 copies of King Sark, 3 Metaltronus, 3 Potted Desires, 3 copies of Spell Card Soul Exchange, 1 copy of Terraforming, 3 copies of Trade-In, 3 copies of Talents. I don't know why it's separated. 3 copies of Walls of the Imperial Tomb, 3 copies of Canopic Protector, and 3 copies of Black Goat Laughs. For the side deck, 3 Lancia, 3 Chaos Hunter, 3 copies of Thrust, 3 Ultimate Slayer, and 3 Mischief of the Gnomes. And then for the extra deck, we have 1 Exciton Knight, 1 Cypher Blade Dragon, 1 Cypher Dragon, 1 copy of Full Armor Dragon, 1 Mirror Logic Aggregator, 1 Photon Lord, 1 Detonator, 1 Duo Drive, 1 Typhon, 1 Access Code, Dark IP, White Binder, SP Little Knight, and Selene. So obviously there is a lot of stuff to go over here. Most of the extra deck obviously is dedicated to Metaltronus, because we really don't want to go in the extra deck. When I say like most of the time, I will just summon 4 Horus monsters and pass. That's really what I'm doing, because it is so hard to beat these cards, and I feel like it's really only Exciton. After that, nothing really outs the board in a very nice and like clean way, especially when you can't kill them. That's another big problem, is when you are outing these things one at a time, you know, or even altogether. If you're outing altogether Exciton, you can't OTK me, right? Because you can't do any damage. So all of the Horus monsters, as long as I can able to stick 1 more copy of a King Sark on the field, you can't really do anything. And then if I'm preventing that from things like Black Goat Laughs, either in the graveyard to be able to stop you from using Detonator on me, or using Black Goat Laughs to stop you from using Exciton, both of those things really make this a challenge for Raziel to out. That also applies to things like Vanity's Ruler. The big problem is X dumping Aggregator. So if you have something like Vanity's Ruler on the field that can just lock them out from even using the X in the first place in the hand, it makes a big difference in the long run, and really narrows down the amount of outs to this card. King Sark Battle Effect is also extremely important, as well as the effect that protects them, because they can't be destroyed by card effects that do not target them. So even for Exciton Knight, the first time that they use the effect to destroy everything, they actually can't even, they have to use it twice to be able to get rid of it, because the first time just only clears the King Sark, and then all of these are still going to trigger. So you're still going to get all that value, send away the Exciton or other cards, and then still be able to like survive till the end of the turn, which is what really is the most important thing. Of course, we have 3 copies of Desires and Trade-In. We are just pushing to find Msetis, the Walls of the Imperial Tomb, and the King Sark. We have to find these cards or we cannot play, so we have to put as many as possible in the deck, along with Trade-In, to be able to ditch these the dead Horus monsters in the hand to be able to draw to. One of the cards I wanted to go over is Spell Card Soul Exchange. This is an extremely powerful card that not a lot of people really talk about, but for a deck like this, it works so well, having all level 8 monsters. It's pretty much Soul Exchange, where you contribute your opponent's monster for your monster, but the upside is that it really is based on the tribute summon itself, not the monster your opponent controls. And what I mean by that is you are performing a tribute summon from either side of the field. So normal Soul Exchange, you can target the monster, and then that card can be used for a tribute summon. This is immediately after this resolves, you can tribute summon using stuff from anywhere on the field, including your opponent's stuff. But something to remember is after it is resolves and sent to the graveyard, your opponent can do the same thing back to you, but they can't tribute off the monster you just tribute summon for. But 9 times out of 10, that's the only monster you're going to have on the field anyway, so it's not a big deal. So what I'm trying to say is this is the perfect card to out a lot of the boards right now. Even the Malice deck, if you are Spell Card Soul Exchanging over what's it called? Heart Decryptor and like a White Binder or some Vanity's Ruler, that really puts a big problem for them because they cannot beat that. They need a piece of non-engine to be able to come back because a lot of them revive off the GWC. If they can't do that, it's kind of an auto lose, and that same thing applies to Ryzeal. If you spell card Soul Exchange and you strip it off Detonator, and they have Cross and a what's it called, and a Twins of the Eclipse under it, it does not matter. You are able to just stop that from coming out in the first place. So that is a very key point of interaction that is very important to remember. But of course, even for a normal Horus name, you can clear up a lot of nonsense with this card. Next up is Metaltronus. Metaltronus, obviously, like I said, there's a lot of stuff to be able to go into here, like the Galaxy package. But even in this deck, you're actually able to make the Galaxy package, which is pretty cool. And technically, this Galaxy Eyes Photon Ward is also a Galaxy, so it does apply for these cards. Also, the Aggregator, we have both Ryzeal names just to be able to clear them. The White Binder to get rid of that thing permanently. Yeah, so, oh, and the Exciton. The Exciton is also for Metaltronus, because again, I feel like a lot of the time, you're just going to let them play, and once they get to Exciton Knight, you're like, all right, you dedicated 2 bodies into that, Metaltronus it, boom, done. They can't do it again. They're not playing more than 1 Exciton Knight, so once that's gone, it's gone. And then at that point, the game's already pretty much over, which is crazy to say, but it's true. Lastly, the main links that we're playing is really the Selene, Access Code, Dark, stuff like that. I really want to use this just to be able to end games as quickly as possible, especially when you're getting as much bodies as you are off a card like Canopic Protector. This is a card that is like not very well talked about or known for the Horus deck, but it is a card that exists. It kind of came out on the side. Once per chain, by the way, when your opponent activates a card or affecting a special Horus monster from your hand or graveyard, but you can only do it 1 per name per turn. So this is really, really strong when you don't have King Stark specifically, and it gets you double Horus names. So if they start clearing your guys out, you can start bringing them back, or if you have more than 1 name, you can summon some on your turn with their own effects, and then do this on your opponent's turn, and it swarms the field so much. And these cards are so annoying to out. Like, it's so hard to explain without visualizing how hard these cards are to out. It is crazy. So again, this is just like such a strong card, and I really, really recommend it. Also, it getting value off being sent to the graveyard from M-Seti is really important. So it resets itself when sent from field to graveyard. As you can see, you want to be able to take advantage of that. So using M-Seti, sending this or Black Goat Laughs actually still gives you value with interruption through Black Goat, and then this resetting itself, getting that value is really, really important, not just setting off other Horus monsters. And that also applies for the side deck with the Mischief of the Gnomes. This card really hurts Ryzeal. It puts them in a lot of awkward spots, usually forces them into 1 rank 4 maximum if they can get to it with that deck. So again, this card is really, really strong. And another card you can send off M-Seti and still be able to trigger it, which is the biggest thing for it. So yeah, that is it for the deck. I'm going to go over a game really quickly, and I just wanted to say that the last match, I messed up in the game 3, and it's completely my own fault that I lost. My opponent was really cool, but I just wanted to go over it because I think it's really cool the way that this deck operates, and just to show you a little bit of action of how this deck works. So let's go ahead and jump into that actual match. Okay guys, so we are going to run this very, very quickly. So again, we are versus Ryzeal, like I said. So he starts off with X, and then is just going to do the full Ryzeal combo. We have Triple Tethix Talents, Metaltronus, Dwemetef, Trade-In, and Black Goat Laughs. We need to play this kind of well. That's not a problem, but you should always play well, but it's pretty punishing when you're playing a deck that's not overpowered in the format. So in this scenario, you really have to play well. And again, that game 3 really, completely got me. So he is going to go here and on the cross with the Detonator, the Twins under it, and then he has Dweller, Dweller's Me, Cross Out, Nib, Ogre, and Hand. So he's going to Dweller us, that's completely fine. We are going to Desires. My logic is if this resolves, he doesn't have Ash Blossom, which is a big one. He Cross Outs it, so I'm like, okay, that's fine. So he could still have Ash Blossom in hand. So I Metaltronus this. If he does have Ash, it's kind of hard, but we can use Talents to draw 2 and try to find another out, along with Trade-In to draw 2 to find another out. So yeah. So we are going to just get rid of the Detonator here, Trade-In, and then we draw Terraforming. That's really the main thing we needed, was just to be able to find 1 copy of King Stark. So we're going to go Terraforming, add the walls of the Imperial Tomb, and then use it, activate it, and then they're going to use Ghost Over to clear it. Now we have to Talents draw 2, and then from here we draw M-Seti, which is all we need. We are now in Go mode. So now we can use M-Seti, draw another M-Seti, use, we're on the Dweller for the Protector, so we can't bring it back. So we're going to go King Stark just to get the guaranteed names, use Trade-In, bring everything back. We draw the Vanity's Ruler off the Trade-In, which was big. We are just going to get some damage, and I didn't want to play into Nib. That was the biggest thing. I'm happy I'm actually looking at this, that he did have it, and we decided to play it safe. He's going to use Cross to be able to get the draw, but we have Ruler, so I'm really not worried. Do it in turn, but it doesn't really he has cross on the field anyway, and his hand had no extenders to play with anyway. So now he's going to go first. Again, he's going to start with X. I'm just going to let him go. We have Metaltronus, Dual Motef, M-Steady, Triple Attack, and Wall. His hand's actually pretty strong with the 2 pieces of non-engine to be able to try to beat the board, but you will see. It's just sadly not enough. It's actually very, very close though. It's closer than you would actually think to what we need. So he is going to do full combo, go into Detonator with Eclipse. It's pretty much the same thing as game 1, but he's going to switch it from the Dweller because he saw it did not do much, so I don't think he makes it again. Also using Prosperity to get another copy of Solemn Judgment. Completely insane with what he has, and then draw on top of it. It was just so hard to out. There's so many things happening here. Makes Tornado Dragon instead, completely correct. So we're going to go Field Spell, use that to pop. I just want to get my Talents live, Talents to try to take. I chain Metaltronus to try to just get this out of the way. Uses the Judgment that I knew he had off that. I used M-Steady. I didn't expect it to resolve, but he had draw. That's why he let it resolve. So, kind of risky on his end, but because he has Judgment, it's not that big of a deal. But I can't out the Detonator on Field. We just need those non-engine pieces to be able to beat that. Game 3, this is the game where I mess up, unfortunately. So, my hand is not strong here. I use Walls of the Imperial Tomb. Gets Ash Blossomed. I use Talents, draw 2, draw Protector, and Mischief. So our hand is not great, right? This is like not a good hand. But I wanted to show you, like, this game exemplifies kind of how this deck operates in a way where you like can put your opponent in really awkward positions. So I pass. He goes, draw phase. I use Mischief to be able to reduce the levels of all monsters in his hand. So anything for the rest of the turn now with level 3 coming out of his hand, including that Ice Rising we just searched, or anything he draws off Desires, will all be level 3. Very important. So he draws X and Metaltronus, uses the ice, that's fine. I make a misplay here. I realize it. This is one of them. I make 2 misplays this game. One of them is not using Protector early. I use Protector only on my turn, and I should have used it on the Sword Raziel effect to be able to summon out this Happy, so that it's just on the field. I don't take the damage, and I have a body on the field. Because now he has 2 bodies on the field, and this is hard now. And this Protector should have summoned a second body rather than having the first body to be able to clear both of those. Does that make sense? I needed both of these on the field to be able to clear this, and I made myself, it's way harder now. So, I Mischief of the Gnomes again in the draw phase. He summons Ice, I special this, so now he can make a rank 4, right? But you think a rank 4 would do a lot, but it really doesn't. So here, I use Black Goat Laughs to help Detonator, I just don't want to deal with it. And then he's able to use Duo Drive to be able to affect the Surge, get Cross, that's fine. All these things are fine. We're really just losing to these Ash Blossoms in hand and non-engine. Like, the Raziel cards are doing literally nothing in this scenario. It's kind of insane. So he's using Cross, be able to get the extra draws a copy of Imperm. Like, all these cards are doing, like, literally nothing. He's trying to go for an OTK line here, uses the Eclipse Twins to clear 2 things, and then triggers Eclipse Twins in the graveyard to bring back. Attacks with the Duo Drive. He forgets that he used the Quick Play spell, so he can't attack directly except for with rank 4s. So I try to use the Field Spell again, Chain Protector, and then bring back the Happy, and then use try to use Happy Effect. And this is where the second major misplay was. I had this on the field. All I had to do was just special summon both of these back. It was completely my fault. If I special summon both of these Horus monsters back, I can I don't even have to use the walls yet. I can, but I don't need to. I can special summon both of them out, overlay for the Galaxy Eyes, and try to start popping his cards, clearing his stuff, because I have Galaxy Eyes to take, Galaxy Eyes to pop, and then Galaxy Eyes to pop. So I can take something, which would probably be the Duo Drive, so that it doesn't do anything to turn off the Cross, go into the pop to be able to pop probably the Cross, and then go into the other pop to be able to pop one of the back row. And then from there, I'm in like a really advantageous position. And if he chains anything, I have the Protector to bring back the Horus monsters anyway. And then on top of that, then I can use the Walls of the Imperial Tomb. I can also tribute off for Vanity Ruler because I'll have the extra bodies from the Protector. So like all of those things like really mattered. And because I didn't do it, it left me in this really bad situation that I shouldn't have been in the first place. So here, he just, uses Cross to negate the Happy, and I just completely lose here because of, I can't do anything, because I didn't bring back those guys earlier. So again, it was my own fault, I misplayed twice. He misplayed also the one time trying to go for an OTK, so like, I knew like, he couldn't OTK me, but that, again, it's just, that's Yu-Gi-Oh though, right? Like, people misplay, but it is what it is. But yep, overall, I just wanted to show you guys kind of how annoying, even without getting like the M-SETI and the full sending for 4 every turn, this deck can still put on a lot of pressure on the Rise Yield decks and still be able to steal games in ways like that. So I hope you guys enjoy, and yeah, please subscribe if you did, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.